Namaskar, I am S.K. Bharadwaj. I have been giving you glimpses in chemistry time and again. Today I am explaining the lines, the signs over the palm which illustrate our longevity, death and murder. For details, you can look to my book, 80 Days in Chemistry, Hastarekha Shastra, under the heading Death and Murder, Mrityu Hatya Hatya Rekhaएं. Now, let me explain you. A long line of head moving to the percussion, and it has an island at the termination is inauspicious, which will create difficulties in life. And if the thumb is straight like this, one can deal with the situation. Thumb hanging towards Venus like this inside the palm shows nearby end of life. A person who is diseased, suffering from some critical disease, will die soon. Now, presence of a star over the moon or Saturn may also lead to death. When it is over moon, it is generally while we are traveling, or it is due to drowning. Over Saturn, the presence of star generally explains murder. As far as the lifeline is concerned, this is the lifeline, and if encircles Venus comes up to the root of the thumb, the person will survive for 105 to 120 years. In our ancient chemistry books in Sanskrit, like Nara Samhita, you will find that heart line is considered as the lifeline. So this is 21 years till here, the gap is 7 years, like that 28, 56, 84, 105, if the hard line goes straight, is free from defect, the person may survive for 105 years and even more. Now, lifeline and the line of head and the hard line, the three lines are fused at this place. Such a person, dies suddenly. It is very unfortunate sign, and this is defect in temperament. So one rushes blindly into danger or some catastrophe. But this is another interpretation which I am giving you. I have found that such people become recluse, hermit, Sanyasi, wander. That is, they will, reject the life. They will become close to try to become close to the God. So, in that case, we will judge their longevity with the help of lifeline only. That is how long it goes. If lifeline travels to Luna for a while, like this it comes and deviates like this, the person will die due to drowning. Lifeline, two lifelines running parallel, like the railway track. Generally, we have only one line, but some people have two lines, two lifelines. So, this person will die much away from his place of birth, like he is born in India and dies in Australia. Lifeline encircles the Venus, but here it's cut by a bar. This will lead to death at that stage when the bar cuts the lifeline. But we have to be cautious and we have to look for other indications present over the line of heart. Generally, I compare both hands, the left and the right, when I predict them. Now, in case the lifeline is broken in both hands, definite death. At that particular age where the lifeline is broken. But there is a possibility if, in spite of the break over here and here, a parallel line either from inside or outside covers that period, the person will definitely survive. Yet another possibility is that the left line runs very close to the lifeline in both the hands. In that case also the person will survive even if the lifeline is broken. If the lifeline ends in a spot, death will occur at the age which is predicted by the spot. An offshoot of lifeline terminating in a star leads to sudden death. Offshoots are of two types, upward and downward. The upward offshoots are like this. Now, the offshoot starts from here and goes up to Saturn, and there it ends in a star. It will confirm. Rising to Saturn, and it meets a star, death is there. Lifeline is cut by a line starting from physical Mars, that is here, and terminates at Saturn. There will be some inner injury due to falling from high tree, tall tree, bike, vehicle, horse, etc. It will lead to financial losses as well. If there is a break or a gap in the line of head or the heart at that point where the cutting is there is a possibility of death as well. Now, lifeline ends in a spot or a dot. Sudden death, confirmed by other signs over the hand. In case we find a black spot over the lifeline, there will be death due to poisoning and it may be sudden death. Death is predicted when we find a black spot or blue spot. In Hindi we call it till. In fact, it is a danger mark. Some people consider them to be auspicious, but over Saturn it's inauspicious. At this point, this will lead to death. We look for cross as well, and sometimes we just see that the luck line is rising over here to the third phalanx and it meets a star here or a cross here. This also foretells death. Now, luck line meets downward branch of Neptunian line, dull ending of death. Deep red line cutting third phalanx of Saturn finger. Dishonorable death or imprisonment. Star on third phalanx of Saturn finger, at least jail, imprisonment or death. Fate line ending in a cross with a grill over Mercury, like this here, Mercury. So, violent death due to evil actions of the possessor. Lifeline is forked over Mars or Venus on the right hand only. The subject has to face grave illness, even accidents. If this indication is present on both hands, it predicts death from prolonged illness and the person will not be able to recover from accident. Lifeline terminating in a white fork. It is an indication of rheumatism in old age. And this is a real implication of it. Since the person will face poverty away from and he will die away from his country. I am not hiding a fact from you. I had a line starting from hard line moving to this side. So I understood that I may face poverty, I may become hand to mouth in my old age. So I became very precautious because of this knowledge, and I started functioning in the direction so that I don't have to starve or to beg or to ask anyone for help. I am trying to be independent even today. I advise you to be wise enough. Now there is a tassel. In Hindi we call it gopuch. Very fine lines, a bunch of lines. At the end of lifeline, it generally predicts violent death, murder, execution. An offshoot of devil moving to Luna tells us of insanity, the person will become mad before dying. Presence of a cross at the termination of the lifeline, it shows pain comparative to death. If found in one hand, that is right hand only for the male. For the female, we have to examine the left hand. So two or more crosses near the termination of lifeline near the reset will illustrate an acute sexual, imaginative, useless talker. This is another interpretation of this line. Now, lifeline suddenly encircles Venus midway and is cut by a vertical line. Now the person will long to die. Death will come when the lifeline is cut by a bar, that is vertical line like this. Star, it foretells sudden death. And we have to check the other signs over Saturn and Luna as well. And we have to examine both the hands. Now, on an upward branch of lifeline, if it will show pain comparable or equivalent to death. If semicircular U shape is formed, the person will face grave illness and will die. That is, lifeline comes this like this and circles. I have found a person who committed self-immolation. He burned himself and this line was present in his hand. I told the person who was with me that this person will die soon after burning himself. And he died. Island is cut by a bar. This will lead to separation due to death. Crossover lower marks, physical marks. The bearer will meet his death in war, that is over here, or physical fight. Crossover Harshal, Indra Chetri. The region between heart line and the line of head is Indra Chetri. We call it Harshal as well. So, if the cross is there, the person may die before 45 years in an accident. In case you find island over the upper side of the line of fate towards the center of the mount of Saturn, this will indicate evil sign of unlicensed passion. Career would end in despair, ruin, money losses. A cross at this point may indicate tragic death. Now, cross, bar, dot, mole at the end of lifeline, they just show accidental violent death. Island on the upper side of the line of fate, toward the center of the mount of Saturn, Now, evil sign of unlicensed passion, career would end in despair, money losses, person will be ruined, and he will face tragic death. I am talking about this place, Saturn. A cross over the line of fate at the termination with a grill over the mount of Mercury. It indicates violent death due to some evil doing of the bearer. Now, death of the parents. Luck line with short influence lines on Venus. This is luck line, short influence lines over Venus, both horizontal and parallel, so lifeline. And generally we find a star over here, so it's associated with the death of the parent, but someone will look after the child. He will bring him up as his own child. Downing is there. When we find the fate line is fogged over Luna, that is over here, and it indicates separation from parents, death of father, etc. A grid is present over Luna to explain all these things. Now, absence of lifeline on the palm. It is very rare indication. It will indicate that the possessor is very precarious and death might occur any moment. Star is unlucky sign except Jupiter. Star at the beginning of the line of fate and a star on Venus. Now this indicates death of one of the parents. Line of fate ends in a cross or a star with another star over Luna. It indicates tendency to suicide. Now, to confirm, the line of head comes down too steeply and then it bends. I told the husband of woman that she may commit suicide. They did not care. They shifted the house, went to the next other house. There she attempted suicide again, but one of my relatives saved him. Then they bought their own house and they moved there, and there the lady finally committed suicide. Now, black spot, as I told you earlier, it's poisoning and sudden death. So, in this chapter over the blog, I have drawn about 12 diagrams to illustrate the lines very clearly. The added feature of this chapter is I have taken the help of some Sanskrit text and I have translated the text into Sanskrit and from Sanskrit to Hindi and English as well. This will help you a lot. These lines, if studied carefully, can help us in avoiding death. Not only that, they tell us how to protect ourselves from sudden illness, accidents, financial losses even. Even the thumb gives us a lot of information about death. Our own death, our children as well. Those who are serious, those who want to understand this chapter well, they can look into my chapter. This is very useful. I prepared this after studying for 50 years. Finally, I wrote this down, penned it down. Then I, took it to my blog and I added it to my book on palmistry, 80 Dies in Palmistry. Thank you very much for listening to me. I will be giving you another lecture soon, and I hope that will be of immense help to